So there was this hill, right? And on this hill there was a castle. And this castle was near the Austrian village of Itter. After the 1938 onslaught, the German government at the time, pause. Now, this is where I have questions. If the German government officially released the castle from its owner Franz Gruner in late 1940, why would the lightning bolt lieutenant named Oswald Pohl be told by Heinrich Himmler to seize the castle on February 7th, 1943? The transition of the castle to the prison was completed by April 25th, 1943. It housed high-profile prisoners like prime ministers and former commander-in-chiefs, and then for some reason a French guy who played tennis. On May 3rd, 1945, this guy, I'd butchered that name, was imprisoned Yugoslavian communist resistance member working as a handyman, left under pretext of running an errand for the prison commander. He had a letter he was going to give to the first Allied American he came across. The town of Wargl, which was 5 miles from the castle but German occupied, was not an option, so this mad lad went 40 miles up the Inn River Valley to Innsbruck, where he encountered an advanced infantry party of the 409th Regiment, and told them about the castle's prisoners. At dawn, a heavily armored rescue mission was launched, but it was stopped by heavy shelling about halfway to the castle. Only 2 jeeps continued. When this guy didn't return, Edward Wider, the former commandant of Dachau, died of mysterious circumstances. After that happened, the prison commander feared for his own life and abandoned his post, and then the guards left soon after. The prisoners then took control of the castle. Not knowing how Handy Bro's mission went to find the Americans, the prison leaders accepted the cook's offer to bike to Wargl in hopes of finding help. Pause. What type of prison was this? They just had bikes and could leave, it seems like, whenever they wanted to. Anyways, he succeeded in contacting the Austrian resistance, which was abandoned by the Wehrmacht but reoccupied by roaming lightning bolt boys, where he was taken to Major Josef Gangl and the remains of a Wehrmacht unit that defied orders to retreat, instead joined local resistance. Gangl wanted to stay to protect the locals from loyalists who would shoot any window displaying white or Austrian flags and execute males as deserters. Around the same time, a recon unit of 4 Shermans led by Lieutenant Lee, was about 8 miles north waiting to be relieved by the 36th Infantry Division. They were asked to help by Gangl, and he agreed without hesitation. After personally scouting the castle with Gangl in his Kupel wagon, Lee left 2 of his tanks behind, but got 5 more and some supporting infantry from the 142nd Infantry Division. On their way to the castle, they came across this bridge that was too weak to support the troops crossing, so he left the tank to guard it, and set off with only 14 Americans, a driver, 1 truck, 10 former German artillerymen, and himself. When 4 miles from the castle, they came across a party of lightning bolt boys attempting to set up a roadblock, which they defeated. When Lee arrived at the prison, he was welcomed warmly, but they were disappointed in the size of the rescue force. Lee then positioned his men defensively and put a tank at the main entrance. Shortly after they arrived, 100 to 150 Lightning Bolt Brigade boys, who were on hills nearby, decided to attack the castle. Lee ordered the prisoners to hide, but they remained outside to fight. Throughout the night, they were harassed by recon forces sent to probe the castle for weaknesses. Before the main attack, Gangl was able to phone an Austrian resistance leader asking for aid. They could only spare 2 soldiers and a teenage resistance member, who quickly drove to the castle to help reinforce it. On the morning of May 5th, the main attack began, and the Sherman provided machine gun fire until it was destroyed by a German 88. Luckily, it was only occupied by a radio man trying to repair the tank's faulty radio. We don't know his name, but he escaped the tank without injury. Meanwhile, word of the battle reached the 142nd, and relief was dispatched. Aware that they couldn't relay information before losing comms, Lee accepted the tennis star's offer to vault the wall and avoid enemies to relay it to them. Upon arrival, he was recognized by a French-Canadian reporter embedded in the 142nd. He then asked for an American uniform and joined the forces as they went to save the castle. They arrived, it was around 4 p.m., and they quickly defeated the enemy forces, and taking roughly 100 prisoners. That marks the end of what is commonly referred to as one of the strangest battles of World War II, which was fought only 5 days after Hitler, Anyways, that's the story of the Battle of Castle Itter. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, until next time, bye!